Hey guys. All right, we are jumping back into our picture. Now, I'm just going to jump in. We're going to start with the alligator, and we're still with our Prismacolors. They haven't failed me yet, so I'm going to keep using them until they fail me. So again, I am just going in with a few colors. I'm not going in with a whole bunch because we are supposed to be keeping it less intimidating. So I'm not going to do any super details on this alligator. Normally I would. I have another copy of this, so I'm not worried about it. I would normally do like scale by scale and all of that. I'm not doing that today, so we don't have to worry about it. If you would like to see this page colored again, but with more detail in how I would actually color it when I'm not intimidated, because I'm not intimidated by Kerby's books. So this is just for those that are, and a way to kind of deal with it. I'm not intimidated by his books. I will sit and we are on the mermaid page, and you guys see how long it's taken us to do that page. So if you want to see this page colored again, but colored the way I would color it, let me know down in the comments. Because I would normally have so many different combos and colors, and you guys know how I color. So that's not really needed to be explained, but for those that are kind of new to my channel, because I know I have some new ones, if you want to put the detail in a page, you can. If you're, once you get comfortable with his stuff, you can sit, and the way I like to do it, I like to take my time with my pages because that's what helps me relax. I don't like to rush my pages because if I rush them, I feel like it's not going to turn out the way I want it to turn out. So, for me, and I'm just randomly putting green in random places here, you can do it however you want, but if you keep it random and just follow his lines, follow his shading, you'll be all right. You don't have to, do the extras. But I like to take my time with his pages and figure things out and look at the details and all the things that's going on and so forth and blah blah blah. You don't have to do all of that. That's just what helps me relax. But if it's too stressful for you, then just do it the way I'm doing it here. Just be random with your shading. You can still get shaded colors and things out of, being random. I haven't looked at a swatch chart. I don't know what this color I have in my hand is. I just picked it up out of my case and put it on the page. And I think Linda colors that way. She doesn't use a swatch chart when she colors, and her pages come out beautifully. Linda doesn't stress at all about her pages. She's just like, all right, this is the color that's on my page. This is the color that's on my desk. It's now on my page. This pencil's been sitting here for a while. I'm going to use it. Me, I'm like, oh no, I need to find out what color it is, what goes with it, So everybody colors kind of different. But if you're intimidated by his stuff, don't stress too much on the combos and the this and the that, and or you can follow a color along if you want to do it that way. You can find a color along. I'm sure somewhere, somehow, someone has a color along on the page you want to color. So you can do it that way. I have a couple of color alongs on my channel. I don't think I have any Kerby ones. I do. I have, I think, one or two. But because for my Kerby pages, I take a very, very, very long time. So we are doing the mermaid page on a live stream, and that page is taking a while. So for those that have been around, they know and they know I take a while with my pages because that's what I enjoy. So, but that's not for everyone. So if it's not for you, don't worry about it. Just color, turn the video on and just color along. You don't have to color at the same speed, the same colors, the same anything. Sometimes I find that if, I am intimidated by something, or I need help with a page, or I'm not sure about a page, I'll just turn on a random, it doesn't even have to be the same page. I'll turn on a random YouTube video, art video, or whatever, and just have it in the background while I'm dissecting what's going on with the page I want to color. So that's another way to help feel less intimidated. Just turn something on, have it playing in the background while you're coloring. It doesn't have to be, the most exciting video. It could just be someone that's talking, because you won't be looking at it anyway. So find something that you want to listen to, a podcast or whatever. Turn it on and start dissecting your page. Turn on a true crime documentary or something to listen to while you're, dissecting your page. You can be figuring out, okay, this is person did X, Y, and Z while you're, do something relaxing at the same time. You'd be surprised what you'll come up with. But here we are. We used two pages. Two colors. And our alligator's done. Now you can, if you missed some spaces or something, you can grab a color that's similar to the color you used for the watercolor and just go over it very lightly. And that's what I'm doing here. I missed a few spaces, but not too many, so I'm just going to go over the whole thing very lightly. Doesn't need to be perfect because we've already put a base down. So anywhere that the watercolor didn't hit, maybe you can go in and color that. Any white spaces that were left behind, any uneven spaces that you just want to flatten out, you can do it just like that. And I hope you guys don't mind that this is in like a bunch of parts, because I have to take breaks in between because I am still kind of sick, and I don't know if you guys like the really long videos or the short videos or some combination of both. So I'm still trying to figure that out. So we'll figure that out over the course of the rest of this year since it's Kerby year. But yeah, so there you have that. And like I said, if you want to leave the teeth white, you can, because why not? And I have like this pink here, and I'm just gonna kind of add some pink to this, make it pop a little bit more. I think my favorite part of this so far is the alligator. I like the way it looks. Not too creepy, but also not too like cutesy, I guess. Yeah, so basically that's how I would do my Kerby pages, and all we have left is the water, and I might touch up the background a little bit, but that's it. And I'm not gonna fiddle with the water like I normally do. I promise you I'm not, because what's gonna happen is if I get too caught up in the water, it's gonna probably stress you out, because I will do water wave by wave, piece by piece, and that's not what we're here for today. So I'm not trying to stress you guys out. I'm trying to make it easier. But because I know I will sit and fiddle with every detail, but we won't. Okay. So the alligator's done. We're only at 9 minutes. Let's do the background. So I'm just going to add some of, this looks like an orange. What is this? Maybe not this one either. I'm just going to add some of this here at the bottom, because I like the way the background is already, so I'm not going to fiddle too much with it. I am just going to add a little bit of yellow to make it a little bit darker. Right where I put that other Neo color, the second Neo color that I had, that's where I'm just adding this here. And I'm being careful next to this red, because I already know Prismacolor I already know. You like to do me dirty when it comes to certain things, so I'm just going to add that in there. And I really didn't do anything today, guys. I've been trying to rest and, I'm trying to rest and get better. I need to go to the post office, drop off the prizes and stuff. And I've been so sick. I haven't been able to walk very far or do anything too much because I'm out of breath and it's a whole thing. So for those that are waiting on their prizes and such, I haven't forgot about you. Just bear with me a little bit. I was going to try to go this week, but it seems like my cold is getting better, but my asthma is like, no ma'am. So I've been coughing. I'm over this cough. It's driving me crazy. So I am going to make my way. I haven't forgot about you, I promise. I'm just sick. So, and I know you guys understand. I know that doesn't really need to be explained, but, Okay, so that's it for that. That's the background. I just wanted to add a little bit around the edge. Now, again, if you want to, you can leave the, the water the way it is. But I am going to add I think I'm going to do one color. If it looks crazy, I'll come in with another. So this is, I don't know, Mediterranean blue, sure. And I'm just going to come in and add a little bit where I feel like it needs to be added. I'm not doing too much. You won't see me do too much. Now, I might go in and do too much on this page off camera, come back to it, but I don't see the purpose. I think if I do this page, I'm going to do it again in my UK version, is what I'm going to do. And then you don't even have to color. You can just come in with like some swipies, is what I like to call them. Just come in with some swipies, get underneath the foamy bits like that. You don't need a lot. Just wherever you feel like it needs to be shaded, that's where you're going to put the shading. Not too much. I'm really trying hard not to fiddle with this water because I know myself. I will sit and fiddle until it looks the way I want it to look, and we're not doing that today, Jazz. So just wherever you feel like it needs to have a little bit of shading, it doesn't need a lot, because we've already put a base down, and sometimes the purpose of the base can just be, that's the color I want it to be. I don't want any shading. Or sometimes it can be, well, I want a little bit of shading, but I want the base work to be most of what I'm going for. So, and then, like I said, you don't even have to think too hard. You can just sit here, and this is something you could do while you're watching TV. You can put a little basing down, make it random. And I'm using Prismacolor, so it's making it a little bit easier. It's going a little bit faster. It's covering what I need to cover without having to layer. But I would normally whip out you guys have seen me do my water. I will do piece by piece by piece. But that alone can be kind of intimidating, trying to do that. And it can also be aggravating because sometimes the water is like all over the place and you're like, what in the world? So, because sometimes even when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, where's this piece go? How come this is over here? This doesn't look like water. What is this? So make it as crazy as you want, but the best way is just to kind of go with what you feel. Some of this doesn't even need to be shaded, so I'm just shading just because. And you don't even have to do that. If it doesn't look like it needs shading, leave it alone. You don't have to add the shading unless you want to. So I'm just kind of adding it in different spaces. It doesn't need it a lot. Just maybe like right here where it's like closest to us. Something like that. Over here underneath these foamy bits. It doesn't need to be super miraculous. And I picked a color that was kind of similar to the base color because, like I said, most of the work was done by the watercolors. And then I could just add a little bit up in here because this wave is behind this one, but you can get lost in doing the details in the water. You really can, but you don't need to, I promise. But just like where you feel like it should be the darkest, that's where you want to come in with it. That's all. Or not, like I said. It doesn't really need it. As you can see, it doesn't look that much different, especially on this area, because remember, we made this darker on purpose. So this doesn't need that much. You can come in a little bit where the foam bits are or where the watercolor may have missed, but it doesn't need it because we did this part dark on purpose. So, because it's like right underneath the alligator and it's doing like a bunch of waves and stuff, so don't really need it. Up here you might need a little bit, but not too much. But I mean, if I was entering the contest, honestly, this would be my entry. This would count as an entry. You know, you took the time. It was quick, but you took the time and you added your details or whatever. You didn't just slap color together. You actually made an effort. You were scared, but you did it. You know, you were intimidated, scared, however you want to say it, but you did it. If you were coloring along with me, you did it. You know, don't be intimidated. And a lot of his books, especially the ones with like the doodles, you can grab one of those and just grab some super tips, because that's what I used to do. Grab my super tips and just color the things that, like, whatever was there. Like if it was a book, or I mean, that's a bad example. If it was like a tree, I would color the tree is supposed to be. I wouldn't try to like think, oh, let me try to think of some fantastical color for this tree. That tree was gonna be green. So that's up to you and how you want to do that. But a lot of details, but we did it. Most of the water's done. It doesn't need a lot of work. And all we have left now, because see, I'm going back and I'm just going over it. You don't have to do none of this. But all we have left now is like the little details of other things on the page to do. So like his hook and stuff like that I want to add like metallics to, and that's the fun part. So that's it. We're done. So I'll see you guys in the next part, which is gonna be the last part. But so far, look at what we've done, guys. Look at our page. It looks really cool. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.